First, I'm going to attach. I'm going to turn my envelope over and I'm going to attach my liner. Now with this, I'm just going to use a dot runner adhesive. It doesn't need to be attached that well. So I'm just going to run some adhesive on the corners, making sure I have some on the tip, because that'll be the most likely spot that it'll want to come up. It's not going to go all the way to the edge, so you need to make sure you line it up to where you have the same amount on each side. Okay, so I'm going to turn it over, put some adhesive on this. I'm going to put this on my card, making sure it lines up. Now this one, it's going to go pretty much to the edge because it is the blackout feature. So there should be nothing showing. Okay, and that way on the corners I get my little blue spots. And later on, when I'm fixing to mail this, I may have to go back through and glue the corners down a little bit more, but for this it's fine. And now I'm going to do my score lines. And now with these cuts, when you do get it and you do cut, there are little notches that the Cricut cuts to show you where it should be scored. So you just need to line those up and run the scoring blade over it, or if you have a score pal, line it up with one of the notches on the score pal. Line my other one up, score it. So I've scored my card. Now you can do it before you put the liners on, but I just feel that it does a lot better if the liners are already on when you score it. That way you are scoring both the liner and the card all at once. Now, if you already have a Probograph trimmer and you don't want to go and buy a score pal because they can be pricey, you can go to Hobby Lobby or anywhere they sell the Probograph trimmers, and you can buy the score replacement blades and just pop them in like you do the regular blades for your trimmer, paper trimmer. Something that I learned by watching videos myself is that this existed, because I was just, you know, attempting to fold them myself without scoring, and it really does score better, and your paper, especially if you're using thicker cardstock, doesn't mess up when you're doing it. Okay, so now that I have my envelope scored, I'm going to fold it. And take my bone folder, make my folds nice and crisp. Now the top one is the one that's going to be the hardest to make nice and crisp because you have 2 layers of paper right there. And fold up my bottom. Okay, now on the envelope you're going to notice that one side is longer than the other one. The longer side is going to go under when you tape it. Now for this, I'm going to have to use a permanent adhesive because you don't want your envelope falling apart in the mouth. So I'm going to use the permanent adhesive. Sorry, this is a brand new one, so it takes a minute to get going. Okay. And now the thing that you want to remember when you're making an envelope is that you don't want to make it so tight that the card is not going to fit, especially if you embellish cards like I do with ribbon and all of that. I got a little bit too much adhesive, so I'm having to rub it off. That's okay. So go along my bottom, fold it up, and that's my envelope. Okay, we're going to set that aside. Now for the card, it's kind of like a trifold card, but not exactly. So you're going to fold in the sides, use your paper trimmer, your bone folder to make the edges crisp. And then it has 2 little holes in it to run ribbon through. Of course, I don't have my pointing tool here. But there, I got it out with my nail. That is where the two little grommets that I did in the light blue go. So I'm going to use my Zig 2-way chisel tip glue. And I'm just going to apply some glue around it. And make sure it lines up with the hole. And now I have my frame for my warmest wishes. So I'm just going to apply, again, my Zig 2-way glue around it. And I am going to put it on the bottom of my card. I'm going to put a flower up here, and so I want it to leave room. And now I'm going to take my Zig 2-way blend, like the precise tip one, and put it on the back of my warmest wishes so I can apply that. Just a dots along the letter. Now apply that, and now you have your warmest wishes on the front in the frame. Okay, now I'm going to take some ribbon. I'm going to cut a small length. You don't need much. And I'm going to run it through my holes, which will probably be a little bit harder than I think, because these holes are really tiny. Oh, there it goes. I ran it through both holes. I'm just going to tie a basic knot. I realize that you should probably tie a bow, but tying bows on cameras is not my thing. It takes me a good 10 minutes to tie a perfect bow because I'm a perfectionist. So there's my bow. I'm going to cut the little ends at an angle. I'm going to take a daisy flower. I got these at Hobby Lobby in the wedding section. And I'm going to see where it looks best. I kind of like it on the corner right there. So I'm going to apply some Zig 2-way glue. I need my chisel tip one. I'm going to apply some glue in all the little petals. And I'm going to apply it on the corner right there. Now you can embellish the fronts of your cards any way you want to. This is just something I had laying around that I kind of liked. Okay, now to make the center, I'm going to take an adhesive pearl. You can get these anywhere in both the wedding sections, the fabric fabric paint, but the fabric paints to put on fabric, and you can also get them in scrapbook sections. So anywhere you would like. So to make the center of the flower, I chose a pearl. Okay, so that is my card. Warmest Wishes is the first card on there, and I would mail it off like that. So this is what my card looks like finished. Now again, you can embellish it any way you want to. I just chose to add a little flower. You don't even have to add that. And there's also an icon to go with it. It's a branch. I personally didn't like the icon, so I didn't add it, but you could if you liked. So that's the first card.